Treasure Planet begins with a story. Long before the chase scenes, the mutiny, or the planet collapsing in on itself, there's a child in bed listening to his mother tell him about Captain Flint and the loot of 1,000 worlds. Jim Hawkins is wide-eyed, completely still, lost in the idea that somewhere beyond his little room, the universe is full of danger and wonder and impossible places waiting to be found. That's the first version of Jim we meet, a kid who believes in adventure. Then the movie jumps forward, and that same kid is flying through the sky like he is trying to tear himself out of his own life. The solar surfing scene is thrilling, but there's something sad underneath it. Jim's talented, you can see that immediately. He knows how to move, how to react, how to push himself right up to the edge and survive there. But there's no real purpose behind it. He's not flying toward anything. He's just going fast enough that nothing can catch up with him for a while. The police chase him down, his mother gets the call, and when he's brought home, the fantasy drops. Sarah's waiting for him with the exhaustion of someone who has been scared too many times to make her fear look dramatic anymore. She loves him, but love has not made him easier to reach. She's angry, but the anger is tangled up with panic, because she can see where he might be headed and has no idea how to stop him. Jim just stands there with his arms crossed, acting like none of it matters. But the act is too practiced to be convincing. That's the first real ache of Treasure Planet. Jim looks like a kid who doesn't care, even though everything about him says he does. He cares so much that he started hiding it under speed, sarcasm, and distance. He's learned how to become difficult before anyone can decide he is disappointing. He has learned how to push the world away before it gets the chance to leave first. And that's why this movie's central image works so well. This is a story about a legendary map, one that can open into the stars and point the way to the greatest treasure in the universe. But the boy who finds it has been living for years without any kind of map at all. Jim has energy, instinct, courage, and potential, but none of it has direction. So when the adventure finally arrives, it doesn't feel like he's being pulled away from his life. It feels like his life is finally being given shape. That's where Treasure Planet becomes more than a space pirate story. It becomes a movie about how painful it can be to find your way. The movie lets us meet Jim's damage before it explains him. We see the version of himself everyone else has to live with. The kid who gets arrested. The kid who scares his mother. The kid who shrugs off every warning like he has already decided his future is a lost cause. He's frustrating before he's sympathetic, and closed off before we know why. When the flashback arrives, the whole shape of him changes. Young Jim is not guarded. He's not angry. He's not trying to outrun everything. He is soft in the way children are soft when they still believe the world is basically safe. He reads with his mother and waits by the window for his father, because at that age, love still feels like something that comes back when it leaves. Then his father walks out. The scene is quiet, but it changes everything. Jim watches him go, and the silence that follows feels like something being removed from his life before he is old enough to understand what it is. His father was supposed to be one of the people who helped him make sense of growing up, just simply by being there long enough for Jim to have something steady to learn from, push against, and eventually outgrow. Instead, Jim gets absence. And absence can become a sort of instruction. It teaches him not to wait too openly, not to need too visibly, not to believe too quickly when someone seems like they might stay. By the time we return to teenage Jim, his recklessness feels less like rebellion and more like a language. Every time he flies too fast or acts like the consequences don't matter, he's saying something he probably could not say out loud. He's telling the world that he is already gone, that nobody gets to lose him if he leaves first, that he doesn't need anyone in the voice of someone who absolutely does. That's what makes Sarah's worry so painful. She loves him, and the movie never questions it. But love doesn't automatically give her the right words. She can see the danger, or see the wasted potential, or him drifting farther from the boy he used to be. What she can't do is hand him a direction he'll accept. So the word potential hangs over Jim like a sentence. People mean it kindly, But potential can start to feel cruel when nobody knows how to help you reach it. It becomes a reminder that there is some better version of you everyone can imagine. And every day you fail to become him feels like one more disappointment. Jim is full of possibility, but possibility without guidance can feel like pressure. Then Billy Bones crashes into the inn and the movie shifts almost violently. One moment Jim is trapped in the familiar sadness of his life, and the next, the outside world bursts through the door. There are warnings, pirates, fire, and chaos. The inn burns. The place Sarah fought to keep standing is destroyed. Jim escapes with a strange golden sphere in his hands, and that sphere turns out to contain the thing from his childhood stories, the map to Treasure Planet. There's something beautiful about how quickly Jim believes in it, not really in a foolish way. He knows it's dangerous, he knows it sounds impossible, but the map gives him what his life has been missing, a place to go. It gives him a reason to move that is bigger than anger, bigger than escape, and bigger than proving everyone wrong. For everyone else, the map is a route to Flint's treasure. For Jim, it's proof that the wonder he felt as a child was not completely foolish. The universe really is bigger than the life he has been stuck in. There really are impossible places waiting to be found. And maybe somewhere along the way, there's a version of himself waiting too. That's what makes the journey feel so charged. Jim isn't simply leaving home to chase gold. He's chasing the possibility that his life can still turn into something. All the speed and restlessness that made him dangerous at home might finally have a purpose. Then he steps onto the ship and the movie gives him John Silver. Silver enters with warmth first. He's loud, funny, physical, charming, completely at home in the galley. He talks to Jim with casual confidence, like he has already decided how this kid works. At first, he seems like exactly the kind of adult Jim would instinctively resist. Too familiar, too amused, too ready to tell him what to do. But Silver does something most adults in Jim's life have not been able to do. He gives Jim a place to put himself. He doesn't stare at Jim's potential from a distance. He turns it into tasks. He gives him work, instruction, responsibility, and repetition. At first, Jim hates it, because work feels like control, and instruction sounds like judgment. Silver's confidence gets under his skin because Jim is used to hearing every adult expectation as another version of disappointment. But Silver keeps watching him, and that watching feels different. He's not watching like a policeman, and not like someone waiting for Jim to fail. He watches like someone is taking measure of him. He watches like Jim might be worth the effort. That distinction changes the entire relationship. As the voyage continues, Silver becomes the first person in the movie who can meet Jim's fire without being afraid of it. He doesn't soften Jim by scolding him. He gives the fire somewhere to go. He shows Jim how to be useful, how to focus, how to take the wildness in him and aim it towards something real. Slowly, Jim starts to respond. That's why the "I'm still here" sequence works as well as it does. It's a montage, but it doesn't feel like the movie is skipping over the relationship. It feels like we're watching trust form in the small, ordinary places where trust usually forms. It happens through routine, through jokes, through failure, through Silver correcting Jim and Jim pretending not to care, until eventually Jim gets better anyway. There's something deeply vulnerable about being seen while you're trying. Not after you've already become impressive, and not after you've proven everyone wrong, but during the awkward part, when you're still messing up and still deciding whether you believe in yourself. Silver sees Jim there, and Jim, almost against his will, starts to enjoy being seen. You can watch the change happen in his body. He stops moving like every room is a fight. He listens a little longer. He smiles a little easier. He lets himself be proud when Silver is proud of him. That's the dangerous part. Jim is not just learning from Silver. He's beginning to need him. For a kid who has spent years pretending he doesn't need anyone, that's terrifying. But it's also healing. Silver gives him the experience of being guided by someone who seems to understand what to do with him. Someone who doesn't treat his intensity like a defect. Someone who looks at the boy everyone else worries about and sees strength before ruin. Then the black hole sequence hits, and the movie knocks the wind out of him. Everyone turns into motion and panic. The ship is being pulled apart. The crew is scrambling. Jim is given responsibility, and for a second, it looks like all that new confidence is being tested. Then, Mr. Arrow is lost. Jim thinks it is his fault. We know Scroop cut the line, but Jim doesn't. All he knows is that he had a job, and someone died. The guilt lands exactly where he is most vulnerable. It tells him the cruelest version of the story he already fears. Maybe everyone was right to doubt him. Maybe the moment he started to believe in himself was the moment he became dangerous. Silver finds him in that shame, and the scene is complicated because Silver comforts him with what feels like real tenderness. He tells Jim he has the makings of greatness. He gives him the words Jim has needed for years. The painful thing is that Silver means them. If Silver were only manipulating Jim, the betrayal would be easier to process, but Treasure Planet is more interesting than that. Silver is lying about who he is, but he's not lying about everything he feels. His affection for Jim grows into something real, even while his plan remains selfish. So when Jim overhears the mutiny, the floor drops out from under the movie. The first thing that changes is Silver's voice. Jim doesn't discover a secret. He hears the man who has been guiding him speak like someone else entirely. The warmth is gone. The mask slips. Suddenly, the galley, the lessons, the jokes, and the pride all have to be re-examined in an instant. Jim's face says everything. He isn't just afraid. He's trying to figure out whether any of it was real. And that question is worse than anger. Anger gives you somewhere to land. This leaves him falling. He had let himself believe in someone again. He had let an adult man become important to him. He had taken the risk of being guided. And now the person who helped him feel seen is also the person who has been planning to betray the ship. Silver becomes another man who cared, but still had something else he wanted more. That's the wound opening again. Silver is not the same as Jim's father, but emotionally, Jim gets thrown back into a familiar shape. A boy realizing that care does not always mean someone will choose you. Affection can be real and still lose to someone's hunger, ambition, fear, or selfishness. That's a hard lesson, especially when the person who hurt you also gave you something you needed. Jim cannot simply erase Silver from himself. The confidence, the skills, the sense of purpose, those things are real, and Silver helped build them. But now Jim has to separate the gift from the person who gave it. That's where his real growing up begins. Before this, Jim was finding direction by following things outside himself. The map, the voyage, Silver's approval. After the betrayal, he has to take everything he has learned and carry it without trusting the hand that taught it to him. He has to become more than someone's student. By the time they reach Treasure Planet, the destination already feels different. The whole story has been moving toward this place like it is the answer to everything. Flint's treasure, the legend from Jim's childhood, the prize Silver has shaped his whole life around. Then they find it, and for a moment, the story really was true. The planet is real. The treasure is real, but nothing is healed. Jim's father is still gone. Sarah's inn still burned. Mr. Arrow is still dead. Silver is still the man who guided Jim and betrayed him. The gold is enormous, but it cannot reach backward into Jim's life and repair what broke. Then the planet starts collapsing. The place everyone treated like an answer cannot even hold itself together. The dream becomes a countdown. The treasure becomes weight. The destination becomes something they have to survive. And Jim has to move. This is where the movie lets us feel the difference in him without turning him into someone blandly heroic. He's still Jim, impulsive, bold, and willing to throw himself into danger. But now his recklessness has shape. He uses what Silver taught him. He thinks quickly. He trusts his hands. He trusts his instincts. He flies with the same fire from the beginning. Only now it's pointed towards saving people instead of escaping himself. The boy who once surfed through the sky with nowhere to go is now steering through the destruction of Treasure Planet with lives depending on him. That's the arc. Jim doesn't become calm or obedient. He becomes directed. Then the story comes down to Silver's choice. For years, Silver has wanted the treasure more than almost anything. It's the dream he has dragged behind him for so long that he almost cannot imagine himself without it. In the collapsing chaos of Treasure Planet, he finally has it within reach. Then Jim falls. Silver cannot save the treasure and Jim at the same time, so he chooses the boy. The choice does not wipe away the betrayal or magically turn Silver into the father Jim needed, but it gives Jim proof of something he needed to know. When the choice was finally clear, Silver could choose him. That's why the goodbye hurts. A cleaner version of this story might let Silver stay. He could be forgiven completely and fold into Jim's life as the missing piece. The movie could close the wound by replacing what was lost. But Treasure Planet refuses to make healing that easy. Silver gives Jim Morph, leaves him enough treasure to help Sarah rebuild the inn, and offers him a final look filled with pride and sadness. Then he goes, and Jim lets him. That might be the quietest sign of Jim's growth. He doesn't chase him, collapse, or turn the goodbye into another proof that he is unwanted. He understands, maybe for the first time, that someone can matter deeply and still only be a part of the journey. Silver guided him, hurt him, loved him, and left him. Jim survives the whole truth instead of reducing it to one simple feeling. By the end, his life has changed, but the movie doesn't make him feel like a different person, and that's important. Jim doesn't lose the fire that made him reckless. He doesn't become some polished version of himself with all the sharp edges removed. He becomes someone who can aim what was already there. The inn is rebuilt. Sarah can look at him without that old fear taking over her face. Jim joins the academy, and it feels right because it's not just a reward, it's direction, a place for all of that motion to go. When he looks up and sees Silver's image in the clouds, the moment doesn't feel like the past disappearing. It feels like the past becoming part of him. Silver's gone, but what he gave Jim remains. The pain remains too, and that's the honesty of it. Jim doesn't get to keep only the good parts. Growing up rarely lets anyone do that. He has to carry the guidance, the betrayal, the pride, and the goodbye together. That's what makes Treasure Planet so moving. It starts with a child believing in adventure, then gives us a teenager who has lost the ability to believe in much of anything. It hands him a map, gives him a guide, and then takes away the fantasy that either one can save him completely. The map runs out, Silver leaves. The planet falls apart, and Jim still has to choose where to go next. That's the pain of finding your way. The phrase sounds hopeful, and it is, but hope is not always clean. Sometimes finding your way means trusting someone who disappoints you. Sometimes it means reaching the place you thought would save you, and realizing you still have to do the saving yourself. Sometimes it means accepting that the person who helped you begin cannot walk with you all the way to the end. Jim Hawkins does not find a perfect answer at the end of Treasure Planet. He finds a course. The map gets him to the planet, and Silver helps him believe he can become something, but the final direction is his. After everything he loses, that's what feels like treasure. Not the gold or the legend, or even the map opening into the stars. The treasure is a boy who thought he was lost, learning that lost does not mean broken. It means the course has not been found yet. And by the end, Jim finds his.